never thought of themselves as activists, embraced their power, took their seats at the table, and inspired others. Glass shattered, barriers broke. More people who had always been told to wait and wait and wait decided the time for waiting was over and the time to act had come. So earlier this year, I called one of those first-time candidates, a woman named Liuba Gretchen Shirley. Yep, good for you. Now, Liuba was running a tough race for Congress, and the pundits were giving her no chance of winning, none at all. But that's not what Liuba was worried about on the day I called. Nope. She was worried about her 2-year-old son, Nicholas, who had tripped on a toy and broken his leg. Now, she could have given up, but she didn't. Instead, she practiced her stump speech while she gave Nicky and his sister their baths, and she balanced fundraising calls with calls to the insurance company, which, by the way, refused to cover Nicky's hospital stay. You know, but I'll tell you, it reminded me of how I felt when I was a young teacher back at the University of Houston. I was having a tough time managing 2 little kids and a brand new job. And one night, my 77-year-old Aunt Bee called long distance from Oklahoma just to see how I was doing. Fine, I said, and then out of nowhere, I just burst into tears. It was too much. I felt like a failure. And without even planning to say it, the words just fell out of my mouth. I'm gonna quit my job. Now, Aunt Bee waited for me to stop crying, to blow my nose, to get a drink of water, all long distance. And she said, I can't get there tomorrow, but I can come on Thursday. She showed up with 7 suitcases and a Pekingese named Buddy and stayed for 16 years. Thank you, Aunt Bee. So I'm talking to Liuba, and Liuba said she had heard that story, and then she started to cry. It's hard. It's hard for millions of working moms who don't have an Aunt Bee. Moms fighting to make ends meet, fighting to create a better future, fighting a system that's rigged to undermine working women, to lock women of color out of opportunity, and to keep power in the hands of privileged men. But for Liuba and the other women who ran this year, they wouldn't let anything stop them. That's how it is. And here's the deal. No matter what happens in Liuba's race tonight, she's one of this year's big winners because she became the first woman ever to get federal officials to approve using campaign funds to pay for childcare. Now that's real change. Go, Liuba. Together, women and men, young and old, black and white, gay and straight, in cities big and small, have built something extraordinary. And whether you ran for office or ran a phone bank, whether you won or you lost or you're still waiting for the votes to be counted, whether this was your first time getting off the sidelines or you've been in this fight your whole life, everyone who helped make tonight possible should know 2 things. First, you have more power than you ever imagined. And second, you gotta stay in the fight. ahead of us will not be easy. Trust me, the powerful in Washington don't give up just because they get knocked down. Our government is still captured by the wealthy and the well-connected, and the economy is still rigged against working people, women, and communities of color. Our Supreme Court is still packed with right-wing activists who believe that the wealthy and the well-connected should get to call the shots. And Donald Trump still practices the dark art of ruling by fear. Fear whipped up to turn hardworking Americans against hardworking Americans. And while he's got everyone busy yelling and fighting, Mitch McConnell gets to raid the Treasury and give $1.5 trillion to his rich friends. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Mitch is still plotting to destroy health care for millions of families and slash Social Security and Medicare. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Nevertheless, we will persist, and we will deliver the change this country deserves. So we've got a lot of races still undecided tonight, but before I let you get back to your television sets and checking it online, which I noticed somebody over there is doing, okay, I just want to say some thanks. First, running for office is an investment in democracy. It isn't easy, and anyone who steps up deserves credit. So I want to say thank you to my opponent for stepping up. Thank you, Jeff Deal. Thank you. And for everyone else who made an investment in democracy, thank you. Thank you for putting up a lawn sign or coming to a rally or donating $10 or just making the time to vote. You make democracy work. And thank you to my sweetie Bruce, who understands the most important things in life, and in the middle of a hard campaign, came home with a new puppy. Thank you. And thank you to the people of this Commonwealth. Every single one of you, whether you voted for me or not, I am grateful for the opportunity to fight for you. So thank you all, but remember, your work isn't done. So much depends on what we do next. Donald Trump and his corrupt friends have spent the last 2 years building walls of anger and division and resentment. Tonight, as the first cracks begin to appear in that wall, let us declare that our fight is not over until we have transformed our government into one that works not just for the rich and the powerful, but works for everyone. And tomorrow, we get right back in the fight. The fight for a day when corporations don't write all the rules. The fight for a day when corrupt politicians don't escape justice. The fight for a new day in America with a new kind of politics, a politics of inclusion, not resentment. Yes, a politics of courage, not fear. We have come so far together. We have fought together, cried together, resisted together, and sure as hell persisted together. But tonight, we send a message to the world. We're just getting started.